26th of April all over the world is World Intellectual Property Day, and Jackson, Etti and Edu firm, a leading law firm with the #1 service in intellectual property rights consultation in Nigeria, celebrated this day with a breakfast forum themed Innovating Your Way Out of a Recession at Southern Sun Hotel. They invited pioneers from different industries to have a discussion with registered attendees. The speaker for this event was Moa Budu, the founder of Ebony Live TV and Films. The panelists were Jeremy Summers, partner Louis Silkin, London; Michael Ogu, the executive general manager of Sony Music West Africa; Acheyo Idachaba, the CEO of Meaty Meth Social Enterprise; Onyekachi Onubogu, the commercial director of Promasidon Nigeria; Obafemi Agaba, the partner of Jackson, Etti and Edu firm. They were not reluctant to share with Eli World TV details about their industries, career, and intended discussion topic for the event.
There are various different rights, most of them sort of to do with the creative industry. So a brand, for example, is any form of logo, any form of name that people want to use to differentiate their products from somebody else's products. And there are other rights such as copyright, which really covers the creative elements, the fruit of your labours. You know, anything that you create and is recorded in some form can have some form of copyright protection, which you can use to stop other people copying some of your work.
I think their understanding is definitely growing. Over the years, there's been a lot done to try and educate the artists on protecting their intellectual property. It was mentioned in the room that sometimes people don't look at intellectual property like real property because it's not tangible. You can't actually touch it. But I think the value that's being created over the years, the work that I've done with the artists prior to being with Sony, and the work that I've done with the artists as Sony has obviously brought a lot of value into the industry. So artists are now able to say, okay, fine, I can actually put some kind of value around it. So they're now more focused on protecting it.
It is not easy. We have been in existence for about, we're going on 6 years now. It'll be 6 years in November. And we didn't break even until last year. Yes, so it's an uphill process, slow and steady. We are bringing into the marketplace, like you said, something that's very unique, something that's very different, handcrafted items, and it is getting people to appreciate locally made products. That is, part of that battle, because in our own environment, people tend to prefer things that are imported. But I would say that, several opportunities have arisen, and with a lot of publicity that we received a lot of favorable feedback from customers, and we think we're on our way there.
I believe that creative and intellectual ideas should be protected, and there are very various legal ways people protect their intellectual property. Having said that, from marketing creativity standpoint, I guess you can get legal means to protect your ideas, but I think the biggest thing about protecting your ideas is making sure that those ideas, because they're yours, can be brought to life in a way nobody can copy. At the end of the day, I think from a creative standpoint, there are no new ideas really. Ideas are ideas, but it's how you bring them to life that sets it apart from other people. So I'm not a lawyer, so the legal guys will do all the legal works. You get your copyright protection and stuff, and that's fine, and I believe we should do that. But I think from a creative standpoint, our responsibility and our desire will always be to ensure that you develop ideas that nobody can copy because they don't know how.
Some of the organizers also gave their thoughts. Koye Edu, the managing partner of the Jackson, Etti and Edu firm; Chinyere Okorocha, one of the partners of Jackson, Etti and Edu firm; and also Abayomi Adebanjo, the managing associate of the firm.
World IP Day is an international event started by WIPO to celebrate intellectual property rights. The second thing for me is to educate people about what intellectual property rights are. And because it's such a soft issue and it's not a hard issue, it's difficult to explain it to the average person that's not a lawyer what it is. But the way I explain it is like intellectual property rights is like owning a house, right? And the English adage says every man's house is his castle. So everybody does everything he can do to protect his house, but he understands that because it's physical. In terms of intellectual property rights, it's the same thing, but it's not physical. But people don't use the same sort of passion and energy to defend it because they don't quite see it like the physical. So it's for us to communicate to people, it's the same way you would protect your house. is the way you should protect your intellectual property rights.
Okay, as we all know, Nigeria is in a recession. Things are really hard for a lot of people. I mean, there's very little money in circulation, inflation is high, and there's so many things people can't afford anymore. And so what we're saying is that when there's a need, or necessity is the mother of invention, and so there's a need in the society today to find out how we can still survive despite the recession. And we believe that innovation or innovative activity is the answer to that.
For us, we all know that Nigeria is currently just recently came out of a recession. But for the better part of the first 4 quarters of from 2016 to now, we've been in doldrums, and obviously the important thing about that was to think about how are we going to get out of this situation. And one of the areas that I think that we need to explore a lot more in Nigeria, obviously, is how to exploit intellectual property. You would agree with me that there's been a lot of noise, hue and cry about the creative arts, the entertainment industry, and in terms of, we're only scratching the surface in terms of the exponential effect that can have on the economy. And so I think it was very, very both strategic and very apt for us to talk about how to innovate your way out of recession. Because if you think about it, right, the things that are really recession proof right now, all right, are going to be things like technology is very, very big. It's really recession proof, and there's a lot of growth there. Creative arts, as I mentioned, entertainment, music, film industry. These are industries that we think that generally, if there's a lot more focus, they can contribute significantly to the GDP. And therefore, people have to obviously think about, how do I get the best out of this industry? How do I monetize? How do I exploit the underlying opportunities there?
Ebony Life founder Mo Abudu shared her success story about her films 50 and The Wedding Party. While talking about the theme of the day, she advised Nigerians to continue investing in their business during recession.
We need to come together to find some way and form in which we can fight it. And that's basically where the discussion of piracy has gone. I mean, I'm sitting in traffic and I'm seeing copies of The Wedding Party in traffic. I'm seeing copies of 50. I mean, friends of mine have chased after some of them. They've been sworn at. They've had all sorts of things said to them. And they're very brazen. They just go out there and they're happy to sell the content. So until we find a way and manner in which we can deal with that, it is going to, piracy, I think, is going to be with us for some time to come. So I think that's, on that note, I'd like to say that, leave us with that thought that, we're creating all this beautiful work, but we also must find a way to protect that work, But I'd like to say a big thank you for inviting me to share some of the ideas and some of the creative and innovative ways that we have managed, to stay out of this recession, and to continue to stay out of it by just investing further in the opportunities that exist out there. Thank you very much.
The panelists gave the audience a good time by talking about their different industries.
The demand side of every business. Now the question is, which comes first? The demand side struggles with ability to buy, consumers don't have income to buy and improve the value proposition it gives to the demand side, which is consumers, and in turn get them to keep buying and stimulate the supply side.
Probably going to affect the lawyers as well. But the truth and the reality of it is that even as lawyers, we have gone back to our drawing board. We have become creative. We have become innovators as well as regards how we deliver our services to our clients. And what we've discovered that this kind of period, you need to identify the goals and aspirations of your client, and that is why we believe that in the creative space, we have to become creators ourselves. We need to understand the system and create special product line that will meet the challenges that is being faced by the people in the industry.
We have this 30-year-old problem in Nigeria. Let's keep in mind that water hyacinth actually invaded our waterways in the mid-80s. And has been here ever since.
Where in
particular? It's actually in, let's say, about 26 out of the 36 states in Nigeria. NIFRI, the National Institute for Freshwater Fisheries Research, conducted a study in the year 2002 and highlighted the fact that 26 out of 36 states are affected by the infestation of water hyacinth. There are actually 4 invasive aquatic weeds in Nigeria, and water hyacinth is one. I happen to see water hyacinth in its ugliest quote-unquote form here in Lagos while crossing the Third Mainland Bridge. And in looking at the water hyacinth, I said, there's got to be a win-win solution for the communities and a win-win solution for the environment. And that became the opportunity for me to look at how we could tackle this problem in a different way. When you think dining ware, I'm sure you won't think water hyacinth, but this is water hyacinth that you have placed on your dining table. But the whole essence of actually going through this process was not just for me as an individual or the organization that I wanted to start, but actually transferring that knowledge to people in the communities that are affected the most by this legislation.
I cheated, we had a little conversation earlier about where you were going to go with the product. So there's a few things on the international perspective as well in relation to the brand. What we're creating and how we're going to be able to roll this out going forward. So some of it was talking about the brand and how you protect that brand, and then how you roll that brand out to get protection in overseas markets and overseas territories, because the distribution for these products is not necessarily going to be just in Nigeria, but you want to distribute these worldwide. And so therefore you'd look to see, to register maybe a base trademark in Nigeria, and then sort of roll this out in the relevant territories around the world. Trademark filing and protection around the world is, we have lots of clients that come and say, we want to protect this brand globally. And I say, yes, can you give me £500,000 and then we'll do that for you. So it can be an expensive process, but it's properly managed. We can do it within the relevant budget. You start with the base application and then you can look to protect that globally. You can go into the most relevant markets that you're going to look to go into to make sure that you're fully protected and you have the ability to trade there, and more importantly to stop other people running on the back of your reputation, because you're creating designs, you're creating a product, you're creating a brand that people are wanting to buy into, and people will be buying into the brand as a social enterprise.
The growth of revenue generation within the quarter and back-term space, I think that created the kind of drive for a company like Sony to say, okay, look, revenue is actually being made here. It's not just that the music is exciting, there's actually money to be made, which kind of gave them the go-ahead. So we were discussing for a period of time and said, okay, fine, let's give this a go. I think from their perspective as well, from my perspective, what I thought would be a good addition to the market was that it would give us the kind of validation that I thought was necessary to drive further value creation, further investment into the space. Because for a big company like Sony, a big corporation like Sony to come to the market to invest, it says a lot. It says a lot about the industry. I mean, over the years, working, setting up Freebie, working with Roku, I've done a lot of media, CNN, different things, spoken at Stanford, Harvard, various places. But there's a different kind of feel when you actually say, okay, fine, well, Sony now, the market people really want to know why. So today we managed to sign, I guess, a couple of big acts, Davido, WizKid. People never thought that they'd be able to get onto the same label.
Well, I think with intellectual property, you need to register it with the Nigerian Copyright Commission. And the way that we protect ourselves against any potential lawsuits is by advertising on our website that you cannot submit to us any unsolicited work. We just don't take it. So it's only when there's a call to say that there's a tender for a particular project, can you actually send content to us? So that's the way that we protect ourselves, so that so that you don't send something to me and then you turn around and say, oh, but you stole my idea. So if you don't send it to me in the first place, then I can't steal your idea. So it's only when I ask you for the idea that we can then exchange and have a discussion. And at that point, there's also a document that you sign that says that on this basis, you're happy to engage with us based on the fact that it is your idea, but we may also have a similar idea. Because ideas are ideas, aren't they? I think it's important to just find what you're good at, find those opportunities in the marketplace, be it on a full-time basis or on a part-time basis, or working for someone else or working for yourself, and explore them. I keep saying just explore and look for those opportunities.
After the event, here's what the guest had to say.
Someone believe that, look, even in difficult situation, you can find a way out, which is what innovation is all about. And the fact that you're able to network with a few people as regards what you also have in mind, that's all.
Improve your business and your and your business, basically, really. And I mean, that's basically what it was. And if there wasn't anything else I took away, I mean, that was definitely it. So yes, it was as expected. All three connected.
There's so much information that I think everybody needs to go away, digest it all, and then decide exactly what you need to do. But there's a lot. It's not something you just sort of okay, yes, this and this and that. You really need to think about all the information that has been put forward today.
I didn't understand the way the media business worked. I didn't understand what intellectual property was created, how they protected all of that. So that for me is the benefit of the events, because you're taking out of your own comfort zone industry vertical to learn about how other people are doing things. I mean, listening to Mo, listening to Kachi or from Macedor or the guy from Sony, and understanding how they each create value and content in their own different ways is very interesting for me.
The organizers of the events expressed their joy because they met up with expectation.
Okay, yeah, I would say that the expectation was really high, and I'm so delighted and excited that we met the expectation, because the turnout of people, the speaker, the panelists, they were well chosen from different fields and different areas and expertise, and so I'm actually excited with the program, with the success of the program.
Like we said in the program, it's something we want to be doing annually, and we have like a structure that we have decided to put in place for the annual event. And I would say that with the turn out of guests, as well as the team of panelists that spoke, I think it's something that we will give it a high success rate, really, if you ask me.
Okay, so the program has finally come to an end. A lot of positive reviews and remarks have been coming in. The guests have been happy that they came here, and people's knowledge about intellectual property, especially in the media industry, has been broadened, and it is something that we should applaud JEE for. Well, the name is Sarah, and Eli TV has exclusively brought to you the cover of this breakfast forum. Thank you so much for staying with us. Bye.